What's going on, YouTube? It's Cops Comics back with another comic book haul. This is number 6 for the channel, and today I'll be showing off my December 2025 pickups. Um, I went to one show in December and checked out a handful of LCSs. I was bouncing around Seattle and in Illinois for the holidays, so I didn't spend too much as I was traveling a lot and doing a lot of holiday shopping. I'm sure you all know how it is. But first set of books I'll be showing off is from FenCon number 2 up in Linwood. I gave myself a $40 limit for the show. I wanted to see what I could do with just a little bit of money and see what cool books I could find. So this is what I came across. The first handful of books I got was Tomb of Dracula, the miniseries from 2004. I want to say I got all 4 issues for $5. So this was a real fun read. Glad I picked it up. Next few books I got were from a dealer that was doing half off all of his inventory, and got some IDW Popeye. Got issue number 2, number 3, and number 4. He also had some Archie books that caught my eye. I grabbed a Sabrina number 97 from the early 2000s. These are kind of tough to come across, so for $1.50, scooped it up. And then the last book I got from him was Betty and Me number 137, the Flashdance cover. Got this for $6. Even $12 would have been a pretty good price on it, but to get it for half that, pretty sweet. So that came out to, I don't know, less than $20. Pretty cool pickups. And then I said what's up to Jason. He had a booth set up there. Got some good books from him as per usual. Grabbed this Street Fighter Hyperlooting Udon Studios cover. It doesn't go for much, but I like my video game properties, especially these Street Fighter books. Grabbed that. And then the next few books I grabbed from him were $5. So got Marvel Comics Presents number 158, First Clandestine. This book really fell from what it was going for before the Miss Marvel show came out. Pretty hard to we're not hard to come across, but it was pricey, like 20 or 30 bucks, I want to say. It's nowhere near that now, probably paid for what it's worth. But yeah, happy to find it. Nearman copy too. Got Green Lantern Corps number 201, First Kilowog. Pretty nice copy there. Iron Man 304, First Hulkbuster. And then the final book I grabbed from him was Star Wars, The Old Republic, The Lost Sons number 2. First Darth Mar, I want to say. But any of the Old Republic, Dark Horse Legacy books are really cool. This one goes for a little bit of a premium, so happy to grab each of these guys for $5. And then the last book I grabbed from the show, I'd been looking for this one for a couple months now, actually. It is Marvel Superheroes 69. Very cool Frank Miller cover featuring both Elektra and Batman on it. Probably 2 of the most popular characters he's worked on. Or, yeah, probably the most popular character he worked on, and then the most popular one he created in Elektra. So this was half off as well for $12.50. Super happy to walk away with that, and that was what I grabbed from FenCon. So now these were my pickups when I was back home in Illinois. I stopped at a Half Price Books. I feel like I'm wasting my time when I dig through those. There's hardly ever anything like worth picking up. And if it is, it's overpriced. At least the one by me, it seems like they know what they have and they price it at fair market value or above. So, but I did find a couple Astounding Wolfman comics that I purchased. I didn't bring them back with me to show. The one that I did was Static number 33. Grabbed this for $5. Any of the later issues in the Static run, I'll grab if they're under $5. And this was one that they had. They did have one book, though, that I regret not purchasing. It was pretty pricey, but with how crazy the issue's been going for, it would have been a phenomenal purchase. But they had Invincible #2 and #1 behind the counter. They wanted $600 for issue #2 and $1,200 for issue #1. They were near mint copies too, which really sucks. But issue #1 had a small crease down here. But other than that, it was a perfect copy. I'm not sure if it would have been able to get pressed out, but I did not want to spend $1,200 just on the spot like that. So I did not purchase it, but I've definitely been kicking myself thinking back on it. So that's my half price book story. I'm sure all of you have passed on some books and some deals that you regret. So that's another one to add, for me to add. I know going way back, like 10 years ago, I passed on a copy of Incredible Hulk #2 for $50. It was actually a #2 through 5. Each of them were $50. That was a lot of money for, it was probably 15 years ago for Low Cops Comics to be spending. So I didn't get them, but that would have been a spectacular deal. But nonetheless, Dominic's Comics and I hit it up at Three Keys Comics to do some shopping. I didn't purchase anything. I had my eye on a couple books, but not for the right price, so I walked away from them. But he was generous enough to grab me a couple books. So he grabbed me Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, #63, and Queen Sonia, is that number? Yeah, that's 25. #25, the Perillo variant. We're joking about Gooner covers, and I was saying that, yeah, there's some out there that are pretty cool, and I wouldn't mind picking up. So he got this for me as a joke, but it's a great variant, not a cheap book either. So shout out to Dom for that. Then I ended up claiming some books off Help Me Find My Keys Instagram. Seems like whenever he does a convention and some stuff doesn't sell, he'll throw it up on his Instagram to see if it could move anything. So I grabbed 3 books off his Instagram and then asked him if he could give me some deals on some of his eBay inventory, which he did. But the first book I claimed was Silver Surfer #1 from 2013, 2014, around that time. This is the second print variant. So every time I see second prints around from this time, I'll grab them. Also got #2, the second print, for $5. And then the final book I claimed off his Instagram was Secret Wars #6, the 1970s variant. Pretty cool cover. A lot going on here. So I was feeling that, so I figured I'd scoop it up for $5. And then what I grabbed off his Instagram, so he was doing 20% of everything on his Instagram, and I asked if he could extend that offer to some of the books on his eBay. So this is marked as 30. I did not pay that. I think ended up paying 16 for it, but this is the Minimum Carnage ratio variant. I've been telling myself I'm gonna try to pick up all the ratio variants from the 2011 Venom run, the Eddie Brock Agent Venom. Some of them are pretty hard to come by, but if the opportunity presents itself, I'll scoop them up. So I grabbed that for about 18, I said. And then the last book, the big book I got off of his Instagram, was All Crime #1, a fantastic Bruce Timm cover. Yeah, this is pretty high up there for me for Bruce Timm books. I can't think of the other one, but it's like Spicy Tales #11. Yeah, that's a fantastic Bruce Timm cover. It's a bit more pricey than this one. And then there's the one of the girl on the ship with like the alien coming to get her. That one's really cool too. But I got this for $25. So shout out to the butcher for these deals. Shout out to Brent, help me find my keys. Give him a follow if you haven't. He's always finding really cool modern books and giving out great deals. So yeah, happy to come away with these two from him. And now I went back to my old comic shop. Did some digging through their back issues, and this is what I came away with. So got this for $1 despite the price tag. Archie number 627, Betty number 20, and then Archie number 564, all for $1. And then I grabbed this Vamps number 4, really cool Brian Bolland cover for $2. And then this was also $2 despite the price tag. We got G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, number 278. And then the final book that I grabbed, really nice Dan DeCarlo art and Stan Lee story, but My Friend Irma, number 43. This was $7, so pretty happy with that. So that was everything I got when I was back home for the holidays. And then going back to Seattle now. So I checked out a shop that I don't frequent as often as I used to, but I did some digging in their $2 bins, and they also got a new collection and put out some cool books. So this is what I got from them. Got Victims number 2 for $2. Pretty cool ghost cover. Goes for a bit more than $2 as well. So I just picked it up because I like the book, and it was pretty cool to find out that it carries a little bit of a premium too when I brought it home. Laugh number 342. Surprised this book doesn't get more steam with what's going on the cover, but I thought it was pretty funny, so I picked it up. Archie 626. G.I. Joe 142, and then a newsstand on Veronica 108. That's a newsstand too, and yeah. Then Thor number 166. This thing's beat, but to find any Silver Age Kirby for $2, it's pretty cool. So grab that. And then I grabbed a copy of Archie Sonic the Hedgehog number 16 for $2. This thing is also pretty beat. I think the cover is detached, but anytime I see these for under a few bucks, I'll grab them. And then outside of the $2 bins, these are the 2 books I picked up. So The Dead number 2. Their minimum price for a lot of their back issues is like $6, which is a reason I don't shop there that often. It's a pricey store, but there are some good deals to be had. But every time they have a book that they really don't know what it is, they'll just throw a $6 price tag on it. So this is The Dead number 2 from Arrow Comics. This is a pretty hard book to come by. There's not too many copies listed on eBay that come up. And I think this was just a 2-issue series, and each one of these has a variant cover that's pretty explicit and grotesque. But this is just a standard cover. Still a pretty hard book to come by, and I was happy paying $6 for it. And then the last book that I grabbed, they actually had 2 copies of this, but it is Dolphin, or Showcase Presents The Dolphin number 79. Classic cover, classic story right here from the Showcase run. Pretty beat, but got a lot of wear on this side of the book, but the staples are attached and everything is there. So I was happy to pay $35 for it. And that's everything I grabbed from that shop. Now it's checked out Jason's shop. Once again, I always do really well for myself when I go in there. So let's get to it. All right, how am I gonna do this? Okay, yeah, so I went into a shop 2 days in a row. I did so well with my first pickup, I figured I'd run it back to see what I could do again. So, yeah, I went in there on a Friday, and he had recently got in a treasury collection. So I'll tell you what I paid after I show everything off at the end of this. But first book that I saw was Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man, the Treasury Edition from '77, I want to say. Yeah, this is a pretty nice copy, though. It's not too beat. It's not beat at all. What am I saying? But yeah, the spine's really sharp. Colors are fantastic on it, and it displays really nice. This is one of the two treasuries I'd really like to have in my collection. The other one being Superman versus Muhammad Ali. He did not have that, but really happy that this was the first thing I added to my pile. And then he had some recently priced modern books as well. So first book that I grabbed from that was Captain America, number 25, first Sam Wilson as Cap. Book doesn't do what it used to in terms of price and selling, but still a nice book to have. Got Darth Vader, number 1 for 5. Hawkeye, number 1. And then Thrawn, number 3. Every time I find a book from this run, I'll grab it. I think I have every issue. I found every issue in Jason's shop besides number 1. So don't think I'll find that for $5 or $4, but still pretty cool. And then I was just digging through some unmarked books, looking for stuff. He had some of these marked as $1, and some of them he had just gotten in. So first one was Action Comics 703, got the DC Universe variant. Adventure Comics 514, the DC Universe variant. Another Action Comics 695, got the got the DC Universe logo. And then a book that I found from him pretty recently, found another copy. So all these were, again, I'll tell you what I paid at the end. I found another copy of this. This copy is extremely nice, though. It's a lot nicer than the previous one I picked up, but yeah. Really happy to find that again. And then the final book I found, this was just in a short box of a lot of books that had their covers torn off or were missing their covers entirely. Just really low grade Bronze Age books, but this was hiding in the back. And we got All-Star Comics, number 58. First, Power Girl. This is the second issue I have. I paid about $50 for my original copy, but yeah, in terms of what I paid. So I got all these books. Two bangers out of there were the Green Lantern number 48, All-Star Comics 58, some DC Universe logos, small stack of moderns, and the Treasury. I paid $75 for that stack, so really happy to walk away with all those books, paying that price, adding some second copies to the collection too of books that I never thought I'd come across again for what I paid. So vibes were really high. I decided to go back to the shop the next day to see what I could get, and this is what I came away with. Got Hip Hop Family Tree, the free comic book day version. Got this Spicy Adventures Betty Page book. Got this Thrawn number 6. Now I have every book besides issue number 1 from the series. And then these recently came in too. We got Wonder Woman number 168 and 188. Pretty cool bondage cover. I know these Wonder Woman books aren't popular with everyone from the time where she's not in her uniform, her costume. There we go, where she's not wearing her Wonder Woman costume. But I think they're pretty cool, and the bondage covers from that run do get a little bit of a premium with them. And then the last book that I found, he has probably like 30 issues of Spawn #1, all near mint. And I asked him that because I was curious to see if he had a newsstand of it. Book I've never come across before. Not a big Spawn collector, but I know that the issue #1 in a newsstand and everything in like the 100s to 200s that's lower print are worth picking up. So I was looking through a book that was just under his, just tucked away. All of them were priced, and once again, this was one of the issues I found in the back of it, of the back of the box. We got Spawn #1 newsstand. Not super high grade, but the price on it is what I paid, $10. So very happy with that. He was shocked when I brought it up. He was like, "Oh my God, I didn't have a newsstand. I didn't know I had a newsstand, and I can't believe there's only a $10 price tag on it." I guess whoever priced it didn't differentiate this from a standard copy. So super stoked with that. This whole pile was $40. Didn't get as screaming of a deal on these books as I did from the previous stack I showed you, but still very happy nonetheless. So yeah, that's everything I grabbed in December. Nothing too groundbreaking, I'd say, but got a couple more videos planned ahead. Have some crazy pickups in there. And yeah, thanks for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more comic book calls. Take care, everyone, and peace.